We are live. So it is Tuesday, January 27th. We're here at Senate Institutions. And I'm Senator Plunkett from Bennington. I'll be running the meeting as Chair Harrison is not here. I believe it's probably because of the treacherous roads. I had my second most dangerous drive ever coming up here. So I don't blame her. Yeah. So we met you from last year. I met you separately, but we'll introduce ourselves for the committee so you all know who we are, because we do have one new senator, and I'll start to my left with Senator Benson.
So I'm John Benson from the Orange District. Senator Russ Ingles, Essex Orleans. Good to see you both.
Senator Joe Major from Windsor.
Okay, and first up this afternoon, we'll be hearing from the Vermont Veterans Home. And in terms of the agenda, that's as far as I know. So let us know who you are and let us know what you want us to know.
Sure. So I'm Melissa Jackson, the CEO of the Vermont Veterans Home. I have with me Greg Cruzan, who is our Director of Buildings and Grounds and our subject matter expert. So I'll do an overview, and when you guys have questions, I will be deferring them to Greg. Steve McClafferty, who is our Finance Director. So my plan today is to give you an overview of the current projects you guys have funded, as well as a request for some new dollars for an emergency project that has come up over the summer. So the first project I want to touch quickly on is resident furnishings. You guys, we have been appropriated $230,000 for resident furnishings. As of this morning, we have spent $96,000 of that money. We have purchased hospital beds, over bed tables, and common area furniture. We are in the process of getting prices for wardrobes. So in many of our rooms, they were not built with closets, so we have to replace wardrobes, which have probably been there from the late 70s, if not earlier. So we need about, I think you said, what is it, close to 30 of those, Greg? So we're going to be pricing those and replacing those. And that should almost finish out the outstanding balance of that furniture.
And do you know when that was appropriated? I don't think it was last year's.
It's been a few years, like 3
years. Great.
Yep. The next is the heat pumps, which I believe shows as air compressors or air handlers on your form, which was appropriated. Yep. So that was $710,000. We have spent $446,000. That is 65% complete. Obviously, that means there's 35% less, more to complete. And we anticipate that project will be completed around March 1st. Our HVAC tech was just in and did explain to me we've had a recent anomaly that we've had 3 units he's installed that have failed. So he has reached out to Northeast Geo. They are the supplier of these units, and they're going to be coming on site to see what's going on. That's an 8% failure rate, which is a little high. So they should be here next Monday, between next Monday and Wednesday, to determine what's going on. And if needed, we may ask Climate Master, who is the manufacturer of those units, to come on site as well. So, but those that have been installed, I have one in my office, are functioning quite well. So.
Great. And that appropriation, I'm just trying to look back at the initial request, and I believe that was a little bit less than what was requested, the 710. Is that still going to be, we're going to be able to complete the project with what was appropriated for that?
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, in past conversations, out of that 710, whatever we don't spend was going to be moved over to our laundry, new laundry build. So it was kind of a float back and forth. Right now we project, I mean, we have all the units here on site. We just have to have them installed. So that's, money wise, we're pretty much at the end, unless we just have, some hoses or whatnot, fittings that need to be purchased. So there will be leftover money after that.
Okay.
And I
The
hope you
next,
don't mind my interrupting with the questions.
nope, go right ahead. The next project is our boiler project, which you allotted $4.5 million for. This project is on, I did apply for VA grant funding. So for the new members of the committee, being a state veterans home, one of the things that is nice about being a state veterans home is we apply for VA construction grant money. The VA, when we finally reach the top of the list, will cover 65% of a project, and the state pays 35% of the project. So in the past, when the state has fully funded a project and our project is finally funded by the VA, I refund the 65% back to the state. Right now, there is a little over $2 billion worth of projects with a B, and the VA construction list only received $185 million. So I don't know when this project will be funded, but it is on the list. And as new projects come up, I will continue to apply for grant funding, so to reimburse the state as much money as possible. So we have not spent any money on this project. The RFP was just scored on January 5th, and it is currently in the contracting phase. And the project, the plan is to get this project started by the summertime. So it is in works. The next one is the elevator project, which is 1.5 million. This will be also, I will apply for a VA grant for this one. I have not yet because the RFP has gone out and no one has bid on this project. Speaking with Tabrina, who is our contract at BGS, the plan is for it to go out to bid again in the next few weeks to see if we have any takers. So, and then if we don't have any takers, Greg and I will be speaking with her about next steps. So then it comes to our laundry room and our washers and dryers. There's $150,000 appropriated for the washers and dryers. We spent $96,500. Happy to report that they are installed and working well, and the laundry staff loves them. So working well. The RFP. Go ahead.
I got to see them over the summer, I think, or whenever it was. It might not have been summer. It's been a long time.
Yes.
But that was a good tour.
So we have $340,000 appropriated for the laundry room, and the RFP for the design is supposed to go out in the next few weeks as well. We haven't spent any money on that. Greg and Sabrina have identified an area within the facility grounds that are essentially located, easy access to water and all other utilities. I don't know if anything else you'd like to share about that, Greg.
No, you kind of cover the base on that. So we figured up at about 1,100 square foot area for new build, and also using an existing portion that's already here, just a little retrofitting with walls and stuff. But it's, perfect location for what we need. It's, you can get to every wing, very easily. Ergonomics for the, staff is going to be very, very good compared to what they have, which should take our, any comp claims, anything like that down because they're not having to struggle going up and down those ramps all the time.
Right. The last bit of the old project is the A-wing design. This is the unit that we have offline, our 30 beds. The design work is done, and I did submit a VA grant application. So we anticipated that this project would be about $49 million with a 65-35 split. So that would be with the VA doing approximately 32 million and the state doing a little 17.2 million. Speaking with Tabrina, costs have increased. So Greg and Tabrina and I need to meet and determine if we're going to pull the grant back and reapply with more realistic numbers? Or do we roll the dice and see if we can make the project work? So what happens, the VA does allow for a little bit of an overrun of about $3.18 million. So, is it worth really getting really hard, solid numbers? Prices are all over the place. Obviously, with tariffs going up one day, down the other, it is really hard to project construction costs. And then we, of course, have the Build America, Buy America. So Greg, Sabrina, and I have to have a really hard discussion on what we want to do. The last thing I want to do is be in a situation where I ask for money and then we're really short and have to come back and ask for more money. So,
And Senator Benson has a question.
Yeah, just curiosity, when you apply, what's the time frame? How long does it generally take to get an answer?
So for new builds, this would be a priority approval. So once we know the actual dollar amount and we come and request the state match from you guys and you approve that within the next federal fiscal year, it can be approved. So it behooves us to make sure that we are shovel ready on our end. So that's meeting with Sabrina and making sure that we're ready to roll. New builds get priority over things such as boilers and elevators and those type of things. So it can be a quick turnaround. But my concern is making sure that we have adequate funding. And not misleading you guys saying we need X when we actually end up needing Y. So I'm going to defer the next topic after I give you the dollar amount.
I'm sorry, Melissa, I just, the thing I'm concerned about with reapplying for grant is that the volatility of the federal government currently.
Yes.
And if you say this and then you may not get anything, and that is particularly with significant reduction in VA funding. So I would just caution.
Yes.
Whether you want and maybe what, I mean, I don't know, and I guess I'm a little, you may have said it and I apologize. If, we know who is doing our construction, if they can sharpen their pencils a little bit. And I don't know if they can sharpen their pencils $17.2 million. Or excuse me, 3.18, but I don't know.
So I am going to be, yes, I am going to be in Washington next week with the National Association of State Veterans Homes. We'll be meeting with representatives from the VA. So I'll have a little bit better understanding of what their funding looks like in terms of for construction grant projects for the next fiscal year. So I'll have a little bit better information. But again, I don't like to come to you guys and not give you solid numbers and information because I know we're, because you have a lot of pressures this year and I want to be respectful of that. So, and in the coming years, I'm quite sure. So our, over the summer, we have had a lovely issue, and I did send a PowerPoint and there's a picture. So we had,
for the community members, the PowerPoint is on our website. If you want to take a look at thank you for the picture, Melissa.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So we're an older building and we still have cast iron pipes in a lot of spots. And the cast iron is deteriorating and we had a horrible sewer backup. So we need to replace about 7,800 linear feet of cast iron pipe. We anticipate this is going to be about $750,000. And at that point, I'm going to turn it over to Greg so he can explain in better detail what exactly the issue is. So go ahead, Greg.
All right. So There's a lot of cast iron pipe in this building. And a majority of it is 4-inch pipe, so it's a smaller diameter pipe. Um, Pretty much every room here has a bathroom that is used very regularly. Um, with all of that being said, we over the years they've used different drain cleaners and whatnot, so it's pretty much scaled and rotted the inside of these pipes. We've had multiple pipes that have cracked and broken. With this incident here, we had approximately 60 feet of pipe, and as you see in that picture there, that's how it was for 60 feet. So it was completely sealed off with toilet paper, feces, whatnot. It was a major mess that we had to having to call in ServPro to come in and do the final cleanup after our contractor came in and replaced the pipe. There was no jetting it. They had to take the pipe apart and remove the clog. But this is throughout the whole building. This was just a major one that we ran into, but it's going to happen again, just because of the condition of the interior of those pipes. Um, so price wise, after meeting with the plumbers that I talked to here, price wise, it's not as easy as just relining. These are in multiple crawl spaces, very tight spots. Some don't have very good access to it. You have to go through the building, down staircases to get at some of these locations. There's no exterior entrances into these basements. Um, so it's going to be more time consuming, labor intensive. Um, a lot of twists and corners and turns, stuff that's buried up above, different pipes and electrical conduits. So it's going to be, as I said, very labor intensive to do. Um, C-wing is the worst. That's kind of the habitual problem over there. But, as we go through these older sections of the buildings, we find more cracks, we find more leaks, and we're trying to just basically put a Band-Aid on it. So this would, definitely help the facility. And, I would like to see it upsized to a 6-inch mainline pipe just for more flow. Because, as we're moving farther in the future, different products, wipes and everything, because we found things that should never have been flushed, and I don't even understand how they got flushed, like a mop head. I don't understand how that stuff gets flushed, but it happens. And with a larger diameter pipe system, that'll free flow a lot better. Plus just general, common sense not to flush things like that. With PVC, it's a smoother core center, less susceptible to deterioration and rot. This is just an old building we're dealing with, and this is what we have to go with. Eventually it has to be changed. And if we do it, we get a contractor in here, we can do the whole system, and hopefully remediate some of these problems. We can't always say yes, we're never going to have a problem after we do this again, but it's preventative. And it's easier to work on too, because cast iron is a very heavy product. It's very hard to work with. Some of these seals have lead seals in them, which are, toxic for the environment once it leaves this place and heads downstream. So there's a number of factors here of why we need to change this.
And your estimated cost is 750,000. See the governor's recommendation, it's 500,000. Do you know why there's a difference there?
That I don't know. Maybe just because, he's never been down in the basement. I don't want to I don't,
Yeah.
do any, but he's never been down in the basement. And if you're more than welcome. He's more than welcome to come down, and I'll give him a tour down there. And then he'll be like, yes, this is a lot of work.
Yeah, I think when it was presented to us, this might have been one of the lines that was an estimate at the time, and it might change along the way, but so.
And again, you PVC, some of it's made out of the country in Canada, and so tariffs, and your material costs can inflate.
So that sums it up for you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Is there anything else that wanted to share with us generally about the vet's home or maybe in particular?
I want to share some great news. You know, we always ask for money from you guys, but I also want to share what an incredible facility this is. This year, we received the American Healthcare Association's Silver Quality Award. This is an award that we applied for, but we were the only nursing home in the state of Vermont to receive this. This is one of a 3-tier award system. We've received the bronze from them. We've now received the silver, and next year we will be applying for the gold, which is the highest award you can receive for your quality of care in the long-term care setting. U.S. News and World Report goes out and looks at various quality indicators about us. We don't apply for any type of recognition by them, but they recognized us for 2026 as one of the best nursing homes for long and short-term care in the state of Vermont. Again, the only nursing home in Vermont to receive both of those awards. And Google, business rate through Google, ranked us among the top 10 nursing homes in Vermont for our quality of care. And then Pinnacle Activated Insights ranked us in the top 15% of all nursing homes nationwide. So the team down here, I'm so proud to lead, does an incredible job each and every day, you know, going above and beyond, providing great care. So I know you only hear from us about the things that are broken and that we need money for, but the veterans are getting phenomenal care every day. So I wanted to share that with you.
Great, congratulations.
Thank you.
Out on a limb, 3 of us are on the agriculture committee and you have some ag stuff going on down there. How's that all going in your estimation? I think we heard from the other side and they were pretty happy. How are you feeling about all that?
Good. We're working, you know, the board leased land to, I always mess up the name, the Bennington Conservation. I never remember what it is after that, to do the veteran farming. I know that Michael is interviewing for a farm manager, so we're looking forward to seeing that project get up and running. Working with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation, and one of my other hats, I know a lot of veterans who have leveraged that type of program out west, and it's done phenomenally. You know, in terms of non-pharmacological interventions for PTSD, but also just really, you know, reinvigorating communities and bringing younger vets. I'm hoping to see that happen here. And the deer are doing fine, just in case. Actually, the deer is getting a little big, so we're going to be working with some other fellow deer farmers to help relocate some of them, but they're doing great. So I forget how many fawns we had this year. So we had quite a few.
It's 6 this year.
Maybe explain the deer park to the committee, because I'm not sure if anyone else knows what it is or knows what it is.
So long history, when the Veterans Home first started back in the 1800s, it was a working farm. And for many, many, many decades, it had a white-tailed deer herd here. And shortly after I started in 2011, we ended up with just having a few female whitetail here. And they were humanely euthanized. And then Santa's Land in Pulteney, Vermont, had this horrific animal abuse situation. And they asked us if we could take Santa's deer. So we did. So we have a nice herd of fallow deer that are great because they love people, especially if you have bananas and apples. So they're a great tourist attraction, and we have kids all the time, and so we have them here. And so I'm responsible for them as well as human beings and fish, and we have eagles and occasional bears and skunks. You name it, we have wildlife down here. So, but yeah. So,
Perfect.
So great. Thank you.
you're welcome. And the rest of you are welcome anytime to visit. Nights, weekends, holidays, let me know when you want to come visit. I'll be more than happy to show you around.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
we do have to get down there. Sure. I can take my office, we can walk over.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm all in. I'm absolutely all in. Being a former veteran, I'd like to see where I'll be in a few years.
We'll let you pick out your bed
Room.
ahead of time too. We'll put
Yeah,
a reserve sign.
Thank you, yes. I'll pick up my room.
All right, so thank you all. If there's nothing else from the committee, nothing else from our guests, I think we can adjourn and go offline.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.